and welcome here to the PSB Spring Showdown. Marcus Burnett, I'm joined on the mic by Sylvester Williams and Chris Watkins. Got a nice little trifecta going here courtside. Meanwhile, we've got a triple on the court being knocked down there by number 10. That's Bianca Jackson, and she makes it a 6-3 ball game early on. Fellas, glad to be on the mic here with you as yet another season of spring/summer basketball tips off.
Man, I'm glad to be here, Marcus. Glad to see some of this exciting young talent that we have out here, man. You started off saying trifecta. We got 3 field goals, and they're all from three-point range. Make that 4. We're launching them from deep, everybody.
Talent is stacked top to bottom here this weekend at PSB Spring Showdown. Over 70 teams. You know, it's this top event in the Southeast United States, probably undoubtedly the country this weekend to open the travel season.
One more time. Look at Chris. You get a 3. I get a 3. He get a 3. Everybody get a 3.
We've been on the broadcast together before. You know I like shooters.
Yes, sir. My goodness. Launching it from down deep all day.
So now Tennessee Xtreme, why stop when it comes to the 3 ball the way it's been falling? That one's off the mark. Rebound by number 25, Dominique Banks. She's fouled there in the melee and is going to go the other way over to FBC mode.
I'm telling you, it's a drizzly day. They're bringing down the rain on the inside. You know, this is one thing I like, you know, joining the guys at Peach State basketball, getting to see some of this talent. I guess you get a lot of these kids that kind of shaking off the rust from basketball, their basketball season ending, and now they're starting their spring and summer programs, man. And it doesn't slow up, man. It doesn't slow up for these kids anymore.
Yeah, most undoubtedly, and there's really no break. You know, like you said, wow, we have her hit another one again. Number 44, Julia Izeda, 6'1", 2016 out of Hamilton Heights. But many of the players like Michaela Coombs right here, who plays at Wesleyan, you know, from FBC, not only are on the top AAU teams in the nation, they're on some of the top high school teams in the nation, and they just got done playing with their high school season a week or 2 ago. So it's just they're always going and going.
Tennessee Xtreme Hunt with the ball. Hunt gets it out of that corner in a hurry. You see FBC swarming on the defensive end. That baby jumper good to go there for number 24, Sonara White.
Somebody finally hit a 2-pointer.
I'm a big fan of the mid-range, Sly. You know, not all of us have that 3-point range like Chris had and like you wish you had, Sly.
You know, hey.
But I got that mid-range game on deck, man.
I have absolutely no game right now. You see Coombs right there knocking that down. You know, she's shown that ability. She's really been working on that 3-point shot. You're going to watch her in the matchup with Massengale's a top 30 player in the 2018 class. Coombs ranked number 30 in 2017 class, a 4-star recruit. They're going to go head-to-head all night here. Score's already 12-11. I'm hoping this score keeps going. I'm not big in the defensive event. I want to see points. I like buckets. That's just me.
I'm in the same boat, and I think Sylvester touched on it earlier, talking about a lot of the high school season coming to a close, and now we're segueing into the travel season. And each one has its different dynamics. I love the matchups, sort of like the one you sort of previewed, Chris, that you find here on the travel circuit. You get some good ones in the high school season, but nothing like the collections of teams that we see going at it here on this circuit. That's a tough jumper. Fall away, couple hands in the face. It's off the mark. Now FBC with it. Coombs will bring it across. Just knocked down a triple, trying to get back-to-back ones. And that one's short. Coach Motton not necessarily happy with the shot selection.
Well, you know, he's not happy. She hits one where she really excels, so is driving and getting to the paint. And she's getting that ability to knock down that 3 or more consistency, but you don't want her to fall in love with that. You want her to do what she does best.
And, you know, I think on that last shot she was looking for a foul. But, you know, one thing I think about playing these spring ball, these AAU games like this, the ref understand time is of importance, so they're going to let them play. You know, it's no blood, nobody's broken, so you can't start begging for a foul on some of these calls out here. You got to play ball.
And on that replay we just showed, Coombs knocking down that aforementioned 3-pointer prior to the one that she took.
You know, it's good to see the big guy down there doing work. I'm sorry, the big lady down there doing work. One thing about AAU, with all the run and gun and up and down the court, the post players seem not to get their shot.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be a ball handler during this summer and spring game. You get all the trash points when you play in the post.
That's part of why I like seeing the teams that we're able to see along the Peach State basketball circuit, because you got teams that are well coached. While you have some athletic guards, FBC Mo is known for putting out a ton of speedy guards, as you can see right there. Case in point, number 2, coming up with the steal, Chanel Wilson. But they also do a good job of working that ball inside. Not just about your guards running the floor and that's it. Got to keep those big players engaged. That's Coach Motton on one side, the FBC side, but make no mistake, Coach Keisha Hunt, very talented coach on the Tennessee Xtreme side as well. Hustling for the long rebound, but unable to keep it in bounds. There was Jackson, so it'll go over to Tennessee Xtreme. We've got an 11-13 score here in the first quarter. They catch FBC sleeping there, and that's going to be an easy lay-in for Juliet Asada. Backcourt violation. We're going to have a couple substitutions on the FBC Mo side. Number 22, Aaron Eady. Number 42, and Deja Puckett. And also number 23, that's Cameron Swartz. Tied up at 13 apiece. Marcus Burnett joined by Chris Watkins and Sylvester Williams, also known as Sly the Sports Guy. They're on Twitter. You can follow Chris at Chris Watkins PSB.
There you go. Go ahead and follow. Let's get a couple of more followers out there, you know. I need more friends in my life. Nice pull-up jumper right there.
Swartz. Pull-up jumper. Was able to see that at the EBA Top 40 a few weeks back as well, Chris.
Yeah, what I really like about Schwartz's game, I mean, you see her ability there as a shooter. But what she does, being able to stop and pull up in transition like that, that's what's tough. It's one to be able to spot up and shoot threes, but be able to stop on a dime like there and just pull up, that's one of the toughest shots in basketball, I think, shooting 6 to 8 feet like that. Personally, when I used to coach, and me and Coach Hemme have gotten in arguments like this, I said, if you get that close, I want you to get to the rim. Because that's such a difficult shot to hit like she has hit.
You know, the great body control, you know, basketball awareness. And that's one thing, I guess, about playing basketball year-round like these kids do now. That basketball awareness, that basketball IQ is building up. Because quite honestly, kids are maybe – you know, I'm not quite sure. I would like to say during my time, you know, I would like to go during my time, we had a little bit higher basketball IQ, but they're just way more athletic than they were back in the day. We got some people out there listening. You got Joel Hillsman. He needs to be out here calling the game. He's over here talking trash about our announcing skills, fellas. Joel.
We get ready to break from the timeout. FBC will throw it in there along the baseline. Here's Swartz. Now Jackson turning the corner. A little bit of contact plays through it. Misses the first shot. Second attempt denied. Third attempt, that one's blocked too. That was Elizabeth Ballaghan inside for Tennessee Xtreme. Denied the follow-up attempts twice. Now here's Hunt from the corner. Looks like that'll be last touched by FBC, so it'll stick with Xtreme. Tennessee Xtreme calling for a sub. Official didn't catch it in time. Hunt. And we're seeing a nice little jump shooting display in this game early on. It was the triple. Since then, we've seen a couple mid-range jumpers knocked down. That most recent one by Hunt for Tennessee Xtreme. Ties us up at 15 apiece.
Nice move.
Nice. You know, that's one of the things I like to see. You know, me being one of the greatest 5'10" power forwards of all time, I love to see when post players work in the lane like that, you know, that nice drop step or spin move. You know, that's just something that's just lacking, lacking in our game today, having a player who can play with their back to the basket anymore. You know, we got to find players like that.
And also, that's an intriguing matchup because as Coons knocks down another three-pointer, not only do you have a talented player that can make some back-to-the-basket moves and puck it, but you've got a player number 44, Julia Desada, as well as Elizabeth Ballaghan on the inside for Xtreme. They can defend well without fouling on the inside. You see a lot of times where, whether it be the post, not only takes clean moves by the player on offense, but also good defense. We don't want to see a big free throw shooting fest. So far, two well-coached teams playing well up to this point. That's number 3, Jasmine Massengill with the floater.
You see Coombs there with the drive. If you're playing against her, you don't want her to get hot early from 3.
No.
Because when she does that, now you've got to respect that. She's going to blow by almost anybody in the country. And that's why Coach Mo was on her, don't rush that. That shot's going to come to you. Now she's hit 2, and now they had to push up on her. They hit the quick hesitation right to left, and she gets to the rim for the finish.
Oh.
Good defense right there. That was
That
was 10, Bianca Jackson. And Michaela Coombs, not a one-trick pony in terms of only on the offensive end. She almost took Sylvester Williams out going for that loose ball.
Yeah, I wasn't ready. I'm on the sideline, man.
Well, you know what they say about that slide, you stay ready, you won't have to get ready.
There you go.
And so far, Tennessee Xtreme and FBC have both been ready in this one. Punch and counter punch, and that is going to do it for the first quarter. We appreciate you joining us here at the PSB Spring Showdown, and we will be back after this. And back out of the timeout, we move over into the second quarter. It's a 17-20 score here with FBC leading by 3.
Ooh, nice block over the backside.
As it was a barrage of threes on both sides to open up the game early. But you see both teams trying to tighten things up on the defensive end over the past few minutes.
Got Puckett there inside. I mean, she's definitely showed some energy since she stepped in off the bench earlier in the game. See her there with the defensive board. There she goes again.
You know what? And you know what? I'm loving what she's doing. My pet peeve for all big men, she catches the ball and she keeps it up high. She doesn't bring it down. And look at that, 2 easy baskets off the offensive board just for keeping it up high. Basketball basics and fundamentals.
Makes it a 7-point game. Here with just under 7 minutes left to play here in the second quarter. Tough shot. Unable to control the body there was Puckett. So easy call for the official to make. And unfortunately for FBC, I mean, they had that shot defended well. A defender behind her in pursuit, hand in face. That was going to be a tough shot to hit regardless. But they're going to send Ballaghan to the line for free throws. Knocks down the first. In for Tennessee Xtreme, number 12, Treasure Hunt. As Juliet Asada has a seat. Ballaghan splits the pair of free throws. 6-point game now. Michaela Coombs with it. Saw Ballaghan do some defending on the interior. Now she's on the perimeter guarding Coons. Miscommunication on the back door. Really, Tennessee Xtreme was all over it. They get the steal, and here's Massengill. Floater game has been pretty good so far here in this one. Can't get that one to go a little too strong off the window. As
they're just coming at you.
They said it caught you off guard the first time. You were ready that time.
They weren't going to catch me again. I had Joel over there talking trash to me, talking about my hands. I hope he saw I caught that with one hand and palmed it.
Joel Hill's been our colleague there. He's an athlete representing that Athens area. As we had one of the little tykes trying to get some action there on the court. Both Rebecca Gray Dyer and Brandon Clay exchange a chuckle over there as they're courtside checking out the action. That one kicks off the back of the rim. 2 for $1 sale on jumpers. That one no good. And it's Coombs, the Wesleyan School attendee, that comes away with it.
I really liked her game. I like Michaela Combs.
A lot of good girls basketball being played there in the vicinity of Wesleyan School, which is where Michaela Coombs plays at, right there on Spalding Drive. Across the street, you'll find Norcross High School. Women's basketball head coach there, Angie Hembry. Yeah. A very good Norcross program. Was here just a week ago for the Maya Moore Skills Camp as part of that Elite Skills Academy here through Peach State basketball. And for anybody that knows the history there, you know the connection between Angie Hembry being Maya Moore's old coach there at Collins Hill.
You know, it's funny you bring her up. I watched some of the broadcasts, and you can check out some of those archives on SUV TV, but I watched some of the broadcasts the last week, and it reminded me of when I first moved to Atlanta. I had a buddy of mine tell me, he said, hey, man, it's this girl at Collins Hill, not too far from where you live, man. She's pretty good. And I said, well, let me go and check her out. I ended up showing up to the game and couldn't get in. I couldn't get in. It was jam-packed to see the future Connecticut star.
Girls basketball in Gwinnett County, in the Atlanta area overall, but in Gwinnett County specifically, you can just look at the countless players. Chris, via Prospects Nation TV and the work you do on the video and the content side, I'm sure you've combed through the footage more than any of us.
Yeah, sometimes it almost gets redundant, but whenever we get in conversations, there's been a couple times when we're like, oh yeah, we don't have this kid moved up there, send some clips over, you see the breakdown. That's one of the things in watching footage, like you go back and watch your broadcast, I think there's so many things that you see, little things, little intricacies you might not see if you're just watching live.
That was Esada on the other end scoring. Work along the baseline, no suit being given on the inside as Ballaghan and Esada, a very formidable 1-2 punch in terms of defending on the inside for Tennessee Xtreme. Massengill guarded by Schwartz. Now they get it up top. Three-pointer on the way. Hits the rope up above the backboard, so that will send it over to FBC Mo. Coach Hunt leading to her team to go to the rim. That's the thing about hitting those three-pointers right out of the gate. They can often be fool's gold. While you want to, start off, get off to a hot start and let that, create momentum moving forward. It can also set you up for the okie doke in terms of falling in love with the triple.
Yes. I guess what did Mark Jackson say, that Steph Curry effect on basketball.
Yeah, and a thing called analytics that I guess Mark Jackson wasn't really into. I think his assistants were into it. That's why they used to always have so much beef.
Here's Coombs, gets the steal, bounce pass over. Too strong on the layup attempt. And credit that missed shot, even though you got to hit layups. Credit that missed shot to the defense that Tennessee Xtreme has played on the inside. She had a wide open layup virtually, but expected some sort of contact or contest and kicked it too strong off the glass. Coombs to the corner. Here's a three-pointer on the way. No good. Rebound by Ballaghan. Both teams having an affinity for that three ball here in the first half.
See, on that last possession, I guess that's something I want to kind of see that I hadn't seen. out of Coombs. I want to see her just, fake the pass and go ahead and lay it on
Yeah.
in with the right hand, You know, she passed it out to a three-point shooter, but, I mean, hey, she's 5 feet from the basket.
I think that's, all of us when we watch, and we always get on LeBron James for that so much. I remember back in his first stint in Cleveland, and he'll probably have a third one coming up soon since he unfollowed him on Twitter and Instagram. But when he drove and kicked to Danielle Marshall, and Danielle Marshall missed the three in the corner, and everybody's like, oh, you got to score, you got to score. But, I mean, but you do.
Yeah.
I get it. Jordan kicked to Kerr, kicked to Paxson one. I mean, but, like, you want her to score. There's so much to be said for being unselfish, and she made the right basketball play there.
Yeah.
But, from a, hey, we wanted to go get those a lot of times, maybe from a coaching standpoint.
It's like sometimes we say, sometimes you got to be a jerk. You just got to be selfish out there sometimes. You can't do it all the time. But sometimes you got to be selfish and get yours.
Coombs goes for the steal there. Tennessee Xtreme retains possession. Coombs gets back in the picture and will be called for the foul. We're going to have trips to the free throw line, or a trip coming for Treasure Hunt. Hunt took a three-pointer at the top of the key, and you heard Coach Keisha Hunt from the sideline say, hey, drive the ball. Hunt, listening to that instruction, gets a trip to the line.
I think that's what we were talking about in being selfish and not being selfish. The shot clock comes into a lot of play, and that kind of changes the game of basketball. And you see when a kid gets to college, they're more likely to be selfish. Because if you make that kick out, with 7 seconds left on the shot clock, and that person can't catch and make a play, now you put yourself in an opportunity to get a bad shot. I know that was one thing back when I used to coach in college forever ago, 10 years ago. That was something we used to always talk to our players about. When can you make that kick, and when do you have to try to make a scoring play?
And I think that's the reason I didn't play past high school, because I didn't make that kick. I never made that kick out. I was a football player. Just like most football players, I believed I was the greatest basketball player ever.
Yeah, when I used to coach, we always used to give y'all one morning of tryouts. And we made it all running. And then I just said, don't come back.
Oh.
But Marcus knows how I used to like to coach. We were threes and layups, and lots of yelling and lots of pressing. And I don't know how much defense we played the second year, but we scored a lot of points.
Michaela Coombs. That would be a good way to describe her in this first half up to this point. And now she'll kick it back out to Jackson. Jackson guarded by Hunt. Here comes the ball screen. She'll use it. Contested jumper just beyond the free throw line. Still good.
Jump. Yeah, go ahead.
There's that mid-range game.
If Jonathan Hemingway was here right now, he would be excited, and he would be telling me how great of a shot that was. And you saw she got that shot off a ball screen setting, get into the paint. And I think that's something that players should definitely work on. I know that's what y'all are working on. You worked on that some of the Maya Moore Academy. We work at that at our Team EBA events. You got to practice. You got to do drill settings and practice making plays on the floor and shooting from spots you're actually going to shoot in the game.
Jackson breaks that pass up, be out of bounds. Xtreme will inbound it there, out of the corner. Hunt, pass intended for Massengale. It's broken up, stolen and taken the other way by Chanel Wilson. Step back jumper, no good. Jackson with the offensive rebound. As we approach the final minute here in the second quarter. Hand off to Coombs, now back to Jackson.
Chris, is one thing you said a little earlier. You said practice the shots that you take in the game. And that's one thing that really impressed me about some of the EBA camps and the Peach State basketball events. When I see you guys working on those drills that you get, that prep you for that game time situation. Rolling off that pick just and easy and catching and turning and shoot. Dribbling off that pick, coming around that elbow and taking that stop and shoot. Man, those are the things. Anybody can go out to the gym and just stand behind the line and just bomb three-pointers. But how often does that happen in the game?
you've got to get to where you've had so many reps with the ball in your hand and what you're doing. It has to be second nature. You shouldn't have to look down at the floor and see where you are. None of that should matter. You know, that used to be a conversation we used to always have. And my dad's assistant when I played in high school said if your foot was on the line, you shot that, that's the worst shot in basketball. I said, but what if it goes in? This is the best shot in basketball. You know, I get it's a difference. I don't think there was a difference in percentage between me being on the line and me being 2 feet closer. You know, I had worked on shots and it was comfortable to work on. I think that's one of the things that players have to do and be in the gym, so when they catch the ball in the game, they don't have to look to see where they are. They already know where they are.
Exactly. Exactly.
So that is going to send us into halftime, just about 1:30 or just under it. We'll be right back with second half action here live from the PSB Spring Showdown. And welcome back here to the PSB Spring Showdown, as this championship game features Tennessee Xtreme Hunt versus FBC Mo as we open up the second installment. It is an 8-point advantage for FBC Mo. Marcus Burnett joined by Chris Watkins and Sylvester Williams. For those that aren't used to the Peach State basketball lingo, FBC Mo refers to the team coached by Alfred Motton. The Mo short for Motton. Tennessee Xtreme led by Keisha Hunt. No good inside, Elizabeth Ballaghan. Talked about it in the first half, fellas. She's increased the intensity on the defensive end, specifically on the interior, as this game has went on.
Game started off early, really hot from the three-point line. You know, like I said, after Coombs, she starts getting to the rim. Your interior players, we see the pull up there now in the paint, and it seems like they didn't allow themselves to fall in love with the three.
It's Bianca Jackson with the jumper there just outside the elbow.
Oh, nice look.
Jackson out of Brubaker Tech. They're in the Montgomery, Alabama area. I've seen them play in a few. There's always a Brubaker Tech team in at least one or two Atlanta area events during basketball season.
A lot of talent down there in Montgomery.
Dunk. Rachel Sanders out of Silverdale Baptist, good on their first free throw. And gets the bounce on that one, making it an 8-point game. Chanel Wilson directing traffic up top for FBC. She gets the step. Oh, lay-in won't fall.
I like Wilson. She's out of McEachin. Sophomore out of McEachin. Started for that state championship team down there. I really like her game. You know, I think she averaged around 12 a game. 12 a game, had a couple assists, 3 or 4 assists a game for her down there at McEachern this year. Miss Wilson.
Coach Phyllis Arthur there at McEachern's, you know, one of the best coaches in the state of Georgia. Always was a coach that I enjoyed, although we weren't always beating McEachern on the boys' side when I was coaching. I did always enjoy being able to watch her coach in the games prior to ours.
Here's Jackson for 3. Ball knocked out of there, still loose, and it's going to be brought in. Dominique Banks really kept that play alive, tipped it out. Got 2 hands on it and kicks it out to number 5. That's Brooke Moore. Moore's triple makes it an 11-point game.
Brooke Moore, an exceptional shooter from the outside. She's missed the first couple here in the first half, but she's one of those, if you allow her to get going, I mean, she could ring off 4 or 5 here before the quarter's out.
Out of Henry County High School.
Oh, it's a little square on that backboard.
Balligan says that one.
Yeah, that one.
And she powers it up and in. And makes it a 9-point game. So Tennessee Xtreme not letting FBC really pull out this double-digit lead to the teams.
Gotta use that little square on the backboard.
Massengill will be called for the foul there. That's going to send number 25 to the charity stripe for FBC Mo. Dominique Banks out of Southwest Atlanta Christian.
Now, I said Brooke Moore may hit 4 threes for the quarters out now. She just hit one after the whistle blew, so we'll count that as 2 in this quarter.
And we'll look at one that actually counted on the scoreboard, as Massengill didn't have a hand up. I'm not sure if she got any wind of the scouting report in terms of her ability to shoot the ball, but I'm sure she'll have a hand up there on that next one. 10-point game, 5 minutes, 8 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Banks can't get the free throw to go. Over to Tennessee Xtreme. Banks out of Southwest Atlanta Christian. A lot of people know that as the former high school home of Dwight Howard. On the girls' basketball side, they always have a tough team. They might show up 6 deep to a school, but believe it will be a solid 6.
That was amazing to me. One time I saw them, and I think they had 7 players, and I'm talking about all 7 of them could have played anywhere. They could have played for anybody.
I think they had 6 a couple years ago when they beat my brother in the state championship over at Holy Innocents.
Yeah. So you don't need a lot. Just the ones you have, make sure they're good.
Speaking of state champions and Holy Innocents, they are your state champions here this year. Kudos to Tony Watkins Jr. and that program. A fixture in the race over the past few years. They get over the hump and get it done this year.
It was a long time coming.
So he went out on top.
It was a big moment for my father. He was there wearing his Lakeshore High School. I think they won the state championship when he was an assistant there in 1988 or 87, and he had that shirt on. So, I mean, it was a big moment for us. I couldn't go. We're real superstitious. I went last year. He lost to Wesleyan. I watched it the year before upstairs when he lost to Southwest Atlanta Christian. So this year I watched it downstairs. We won. So I like to take some of the credit.
Looks like you've got your spot picked for the next few years in terms of where you watch the game.
And you know,
we're done. It's his last game. Oh yeah. He went out on top. If any way to go. He is now the executive director of NYO in Atlanta.
But awesome. You know the thing about that game, though, that Wesleyan Holy Innocents, no one in the whole state of Georgia would be shocked if those two aren't playing for the state championship again.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, Wesleyan's got everybody back. Holy Innocents should have everybody back. They hired a new coach who actually is a former Wesleyan assistant. So, I mean, just the talent in that classification, I think, and that classification had this year, which was smart classification 2A, I mean, may have been the best in the state, you know, even better than the 6A classification. So.
Hey, fellas, that last three-pointer for Tennessee Xtreme was knocked down by Hunt. Let's take a look at the replay. That's Amber Hunt. I'm sorry, Chris. I don't remember Amber Hunt being able to shoot the ball this well over the past few years for Xtreme.
Yeah, and I don't want to discredit Hunt because I don't either. I remember her being more of a role player and, you know, being somebody that's going to be able to play at the next level because what she does. But this is not, for the way she's shooting right now, this is how she shot all weekend.
Yeah, it's not a fluke.
Yeah, I mean, she shot this way last night. I mean, I saw her earlier today. So, I mean, that's a testament to the work you can tell that she's put in the gym. And so now she's going to be a player that not does the little things and know-hows to play. Now she's somebody, well, now you've got to guard her. She's consistent shooting from all over the floor, and I think that's big.
And that was my whole rationale in bringing it up because she put in the work to be able to go out there and take shots that she can hit with no problem. And, you know, it's paying off. They say the work don't lie. Neither does the webcast. She has both in her favor right now. Off the mark on that one, though. FBC's off and running. And they get the offensive rebound. An easy layup for Bianca Jackson.
You know, it's something you brought up a little earlier. You're talking about the talent in the different classifications. And that's one thing that I liked about Marcus' old home state. You know, you had one state champion. I would love to see, you know, a McEachin team from last year or a McEachin team from this year playing Wesleyan or playing Holy Innocents or any of them playing St. Francis for a true state champion.
I don't know who's going to be St. Francis this year.
Yeah.
They were so talented. And, I mean, it's kind of hit or miss. I mean, you see that three right there.
But, you know, you have these teams, they're actually, St. Francis is 1A, I think. They're 1A private. Yeah. And, you know, Holy Innocents, I think they're 2A. 2A. You know, and McEachin is one of the big boys. You know, they're 5A. You know, 6A or whatever McEachin is. I know there's a lot of people over there.
It's like our buddy Joe Hilsman says, when it comes to basketball, classification means nothing. You know, it's not football where you got to have 11 on both sides and a bigger numbers game. You get you a score and 4 guys that are committed, you can have a chance to compete if your system's right.
Exactly.
And you mentioned St. Francis. They're state champions here in the state of Georgia. They'll be playing, they'll take the show to the Big Apple next week. They'll be playing in the Dick's Sporting Goods National High School Invitational there on the girls' side.
Now, that is something I am very interested to see. I want to see that St. Francis team. And Cassie, I will not say her last name.
Kush Kitawar.
And
that took about an hour of practice. So
I'm definitely ready to see that St. Francis team on the national scale. You know, it's a lot of teams here in Georgia. I would love to see what they do in some of these national games, you know, boys and girls side.
And by the way, Sly, you referenced my home state, but you didn't mention it. You didn't let them know exactly which state you were referring to as Michaela Coombs knocks down another jumper. Go ahead and give us that state shout out.
I am talking about the home state, the state that has probably the 42nd best talent in the union, Indiana.
My wife asked me the other day, we were watching, I think Iowa was playing in the NCAA tournament. She's like, why do all the Midwest states, why are they so into basketball?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I don't really know if there's a whole lot to do out there besides play basketball, honey.
It's a chance to go inside, get out of the snow, the 12-foot snow.
It's part of the culture, man. I mean, you know, you can pull up on a residence where there are 2 senior citizens living there. They're going to have a hoop in the driveway. You better believe it.
I've been begging to get one in my house. We've got one in the neighborhood. I think maybe if we have a child, I'll be able to get one. There's Coombs again. I mean, that's her 4th 3 on the game, and people better watch out. Because if that piece keeps becoming as consistent as it has been, and I know, guys, you're seeing, oh, hey, she's hit 4 threes, you know, now she's best shooter ever. No, that's in someone's face. You see it right there. If this becomes such a consistency, she is going to be so tough to guard at the next level.
You know, it's a tough day in the Williams household. And you're speaking of the next level, my Lady Gamecocks. They had an early departure from the NCAA tournament. Speaking of the NCAA tournament, how you guys brackets doing over there?
Oh man, I've been using mine for dart practice probably ever since the second opening night when Purdue lost to Euler.
I had Michigan State playing Duke in the Michigan State and Duke in the Final Four. So that'll let you know how well mine's going.
I think the Michigan State upset was the biggest surprise out of anybody. You know, you learn in this time of year to really give Izzo a lot of credence when it comes to his reputation and how he gets players to play this time of year. I don't think anybody saw that coming.
I'll be honest with you, I haven't filled out a bracket, I think, in 5 or 6 years. I just like to watch it and hope every game is an upset.
Another 3 out of the corner.
We're going to count that as her third. Only the second that counts in the scorebook. So I said 4, she hit 3.
Getting you close enough there is Brooke Moore. She knocks down another triple.
He's playing defense out there.
So that's going to end the third quarter. We'll take a short break and be back with more here from the PSB Spring Show. Look there at the Tennessee Xtreme Hunt huddle. They come into this final quarter trailing by 14. Marcus Burnett joined by Chris Watkins and Sylvester Williams here courtside at the PSB Spring Showdown. We're going to have a quick timeout. I think there's a little bit of moisture there on the floor. Coach Motton for FBC making sure they take a second to get it wiped up. You'll never hear complaints on our end in terms of officials and coaches taking time to make sure those wet spots are wiped up. You don't want to see anybody go down to an injury, let alone a preventable one, by taking a few seconds to get the spot up. So teamwork making the dream work on that note. Fellas, your thoughts on this game up to this point and maybe what Tennessee Xtreme Hunt can do to close the gap?
You know, there was a moment it was 44-38. Tennessee Xtreme, you know, doesn't hit the shot. Coombs comes out, bangs a three, gets a layup, and then Moore hits another 3. So that's all transpiring in the last minute and a half. If you're Tennessee Xtreme, you want to get a couple easy buckets, you want to get Massengill going. I mean, that's what they're going to need to cut this gap. You know, you want to look at the 8-minute mark, you want to say at the 4-minute mark you're down 6 or down 4, and you just keep cutting into it.
You know, it's one thing watching this game. I've actually been, you know, I don't know if it's rude or wrong, but I've been really surprised about the outside shooting in this game. I know we had some good players, but it seems like there are 3 or 4 players on each team who've knocked down a 3 already in this game. And that's one thing that's just totally surprised me, how well everyone shoots out here.
Yeah, it's been, you know, it started off that way earlier. Then both teams kind of cooled off a little bit from the outside. And since then, the name of the game has been, we started off shooting the ball well from 3. Let's tighten it back up, not take as many. Make sure the ones that we do take are coming in rhythm. And so both teams have made that adjustment. We're not seeing any really bad threes be taken over the past few minutes. All of them have been within rhythm, off the extra pass, in transition even. But if you're FBC, you're in a better position than Tennessee Xtreme right now. As they are playing from 14 behind, they get it into Hunt. Hunt, nice shot off the glass.
Nice way to work her way around and lay that in.
She makes it 40-52, just a 12-point game here. Bianca Jackson. Three-pointer off the mark there by Chanel Wilson, who got it off the Jackson pass. Brandon Clay taking a second to join us here on the mic at the PSB Spring Showdown. Brandon, you've got a good one going here between FBC and Tennessee Xtreme as that one's manhandled on the inside by number 42, Andija Puckett.
Give me that, man. Literally just went and took it from her. That's a big play. Puckett's really grown her game. Really done a great job there of being a force on the interior for sure.
Pretty good force on the interior as well in this game has been Elizabeth Balogun. Her extra effort is going to get her a trip to the free throw line.
Hold on, quote our colleague Joel Hilsman, Balogun, Balogun. she just plays so hard. And she's good. You know, a lot of times you say that for kids that are rugged, whose skill development is still developing and needs refinement. She's a kid that can make an open shot, can put the ball on the deck, and can make a play in the open floor or in the half court in addition to the type of energy and effort that Hilsman exudes every time he says her name.
11-point game, and they'll get another opportunity to score. Nearly thrown away, but Massengill will get it over to Hunt. We talked about Hunt's development in the jumper area.
Oh, right on cue. She heard you, man. What a move, though, right? Like the little ball fake. She was waiting for the handoff. Handoff didn't come. No big deal. Turn in and score. We talked about that last night. I was talking with Rebecca Dyer, ProspectsNation.com, and we talked about her willingness, Hunt that is, to continue to grow her game.
So has that young lady there, Michaela Coombs. Much improved three-pointer. But there she gets some of the mid-range work she's accustomed to.
Well, she scored it in all three ways, Marcus. She scored it beyond the arc, she scored it at the rim, and she scored it in the mid-range. You talk about three ways to score. She does that. You see her raise up for the jumper. That is a tough shot. You talk about the degree of difficulty. Definitely a 9 on the 10 scale.
Kayla Coombs makes it 44-54. Under the 6-minute mark now. 10-point game, you're Xtreme, you need stops.
Oh, what a pass.
Great play by Balogun to recover, get a piece, and it goes off of number 42, Puckett last.
You know, that was a great pass there by Jackson. Doesn't convert it, but what a great pass.
And you know, Brandon, I think that's one of the things we were talking about a little bit earlier. You know, it was a great pass, it was a smart pass, but that's one of those occasions where I think you want to be selfish.
No question.
You want to be selfish and just go ahead and lay that up. We're talking about the little LeBron James effect. You know, he passed it off to Donyell Marshall. That's what Chris was saying earlier. You know, he passed it off to Donyell Marshall for the shot. It was the right play, but it was the wrong thing to do.
Well, you know, it's so hard to gauge that in the moment. You know, obviously, you know, from our vantage point, whether it be from TV or whether it be, you know, at home, and just understanding how difficult of a read that is. And you want to, as a coach, encourage, obviously, the passing, but then encourage the knowing when and where to go ahead and make that play and when to be, like you said, a little bit selfish and score it. And then you want your post player to finish that. If you catch that, you've got to use your body to shield yourself from the defender, which didn't occur in that situation. You've got to shield your body to still get the score and maybe even get an AM1 instead of just 2 points.
And, you know, I think that's the difference. That's why Sylvester Williams is over on the side calling these games. Because, and I'm not running the camps like you are, you know, the EBA camps and the, you know, Peach State basketball. I'm just calling the games because when you go to the Sylvester Williams School of Ball, it's shoot first, and we're going to worry about everything else.
Hey, you and Jonathan Hemingway, man, you should help with the CoachHemmy.com workout showcase series. You're watching the SUV replay. There's Hunt, the square up, J up, bottoms up, splash.
Hunt put that work in, man, on the jumper. I know we've said it multiple times throughout this webcast, just giving credit where it's due.
She backed up. Massengill caught it at about 17. And again, the Slime Williams school student. You don't necessarily want to back up, but she did. She backed up 3 feet and hit the shot.
Hey, 3's worth more than 2.
Easy math, man.
Not just that, tough shot is you had Puckett out there running to contest. Good wingspan there. She shot it up and over. Denied on the inside. But it's going to be a foul against Dominique Banks. Had her arm straight up, but then swiped down to try to block it.
Yeah, Massengill's a tough competitor. She has something going on with her eye. I think she got hit in the eye, got a scratch above her eye. Every sideline, she's coming to the sideline. Coach is applying pressure on her eye like she's a boxer.
And you see why right there with that jumper on the replay, Massengill with that corner 3. That's tough. Nothing wrong with her eye there, but definitely something in the defender's eye, and that was the jumper.
9-point game at the free throw line. Good on the second attempt. Number 40, Rachel Sanders. 5 minutes, just under it. 8-point game.
Sanders brings them a presence on the inside. Not only 5'8", but just her willingness to play hard. Good size. You see her right now guarding Puckett there on the interior.
And now you're seeing some of why this will be tough over the next couple minutes. FBC can sort of spread you out and use some of these ball handlers to run some precious clock.
Yeah, they definitely have the guards to do it. Remember, the 2-minute rule will be in effect. The NBA, 2 fouls underneath 2 minutes. So once they get another 2 minutes, they can stop it. But for right now, they're just going to have to play them straight up.
Massengale ahead to Hunt. Hunt, still able to have the wherewithal to finish that one in traffic.
Man, she hasn't seen high school yet, folks.
Wow. She's still in middle school. She's an 8th grader. Okay.
Yeah, hadn't seen high school yet, man. Oh, great pass ahead.
Balogun finishes.
Hey, and we talked a minute ago about using your body, and that was a great example there as Puckett was running on her back shoulder, turned her body and contorted to still be able to finish. You see the SUV replay here. In transition, defender comes, not a problem, still for the basket.
That's that basketball IQ, Brandon. You know, that's the one thing that impresses me. That impressed me because, you know, anybody can be an athlete. You know, anybody can go out here and run faster or jump higher than the next guy. But sometimes you have to outthink your opponent, and that's that basketball IQ that I like.
Let's take a look at Treasure Hunt. You mentioned she hasn't even stepped foot in a high school hallway just yet. Still able to finish there with a pretty good defender in Coombs right on her hip, and another one coming in, Chanel Wilson.
Well, and the best thing is, with the Hunt finish, no expression. Just say, oh, I'm supposed to be here, man. I'm a veteran. What are y'all talking about? Rookie? Nah, man, I'm the vet.
4-point game now. Balogun will be called for the foul.
Well, and it's interesting now. This is the, you know, you talking about the CoachHimmy.com trains of thought with various time left on the clock. And now that you cut it to 4, 2-possession game, I think you can play it straight up. You know, you don't have to, obviously you want to put some pressure on the basketball. But in terms of having a foul intentionally, you don't have to do that. You want to try to force them into another turnover. You've been able to speed the game up on them a little bit.
Jackson gets the step. She's met by 2 defenders. Here's Massengale coming the other way. Floats it up, off the back of the rim. Fighting for the rebound as Coombs heads over to.
You know, Coombs has been over here a lot, running into me a lot. You know, I think her running into me just by osmosis, her game has developed some by just touching. Like, you know, her shooting touch has gotten better since she ran into me.
That's a great way to look at it. I'm going to let that one ride, man.
Hunt riding to the other end for the layup drill. It is a 2-point game. I like that stretch right there. It was a bang-bang play. Ball could have went either way. Tennessee Xtreme, no need to pout, argue, fuss about it, get back on D, turnover, layup, 2-point game.
Well, you hear Coach Hunt imploring her team, come on, let's go, let's go.
Could have been a big answer there. That one rattles around and out, and now Dominique Banks is going to have to go to the free throw line and knock down Keywood.
Well, and I love Mo on the other side there. Never gets too high, never gets too low, always locked in. You see him still teaching there at the point guard position. Even after the run that's been made, he still is talking and teaching his team through it as opposed to changing his demeanor. Still the same guy in that way that he's been all game.
Part of that FBC cut of the jib when you look at not only Motton, but you also, you know, Brian Harmon, and just a similar approach. You always know you're going to have well-coached teams with those guys at the top.
And, you know, that's one thing that I like that impresses me about his program and about their program is the fact that they still teach. And that's one thing. Oh, my goodness. Top ball.
Hunt.
Yeah, she is out here taking nothing but buckets for an answer right now, fellas.
But, yeah, one thing I like is the fact that he's still teaching. And one of my pet peeves about the summer circuit and AAU and all is no teaching being done in the summertime. Kids are just running. But, you know, if you have a coach who still teaches, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate that with his program.
Massengale got the steal on one and fouled on the other, but let's take another look at that Amber Hunt bucket.
I mean, quick face up Absolutely no wasted motion in that shot. Caught it, pocket, buckets.
She tied it up at 57 apiece. Massengill can break the tie at the free throw line.
Well, to your point about the summertime, and I think this applies in high school too. You know, you have so many coaches who coach other sports who kind of wind up with women's basketball, right? Girls basketball. And so to see the quality of coaching getting better at both levels, the high school level and the club level, with dedicated people. We talk about FBC. We talk about Keisha Hunt, who coaches Hamilton Heights in the school season and then coaches Tennessee Xtreme in the club season. Hamilton Heights was one of the 25 best teams in the country this year at the high school level. Then they come back and do it here again. You talk about Brian Harmon with FBC. Now he's coaching at Collins Hill, one of the best teams inside of the state of Georgia. Then Motton's coaching the kids in the summer. So in terms of having multiple kids, nice shot there by Jackson, in terms of having multiple people who are doing both sides of the ball, high school and the summer, you're getting a little more continuity and consistency on both sides these days.
Jackson ties us up at 59 apiece. Under 2 minutes left to play. Ballaghan going baseline against Swartz. Swartz, good foul there. Ballaghan a little shaken up on the play. She'll shake it off and head to the free throw line. Massengill still over here being tended to by the coaching staff here for Tennessee Xtreme. Ballaghan cannot get the first free throw to go. Sub in for FBC mode, number 22, Aaron Edie. Edie out of Riverwood High School.
Oh, my man, Buck Jenkins on the boys' side. Buck Jenkins.
Buck Jenkins, young Cole Roberts, the EVA camper.
EJ, Elijah Jenkins, plenty of crossover movement there, man.
Those fellas drew a lot of attention here in the state tournament this past year. Coach Jenkins doing a great job with that program. We're going to have a foul there on the floor. We'll go against number 40, Rachel Sanders. So the next foul against both teams will result in free throws. Both teams have committed their first foul under the 2-minute mark. 1 point lead for Tennessee Xtreme. Jackson guarded by Massengill. Combs gonna try a contested three-pointer. Kicks off the back of the rim. Hunt has it. Now she'll get it over to Amber. Wisely back out to Massengill. They'll try to get a good one here. Take their time. Currently leading by 1. Massengill sees a lane, attacks it, and 1.
So smooth to the cup, man. She hits that hole, looked like a tailback getting in that thing. Immediately takes it, takes a bump, and then is able to finish the 2018 from Hamilton Heights. You see her right here, little bump, no big deal, hooping the horn.
You know, to me, that's another thing that's just so impressive. The fact that she's a sophomore, you know, is 14, 15 years old, and out here playing against some of the best players in the nation. You know, Coombs is definitely one of the top players in the state of Georgia. And, you know, she's out here holding her own and actually doing a little bit more than holding her own against some of the best, man, and only to be a sophomore, rising junior. Impressive.
At the end of the day, that's why you come to events like these. When you talk about being able to grind and shine and then get better, college coaches, no college coaches, whatever. Just the opportunity to get better and improve your game every time out is why you put yourself in these situations.
And this has been a great game. You know, you look at it being late March, definitely not in the the prime time when it comes to the travel season. You know, teams kind of coming together, really trying to get the dust off, with it being a slight break in between the high school season finishing up and this travel season kicking off. But I think it's been a well-played game on both sides. Credit to Tennessee Xtreme for not making matters worse by panicking or trying to get it all back at once. They fought back, gotten themselves in the game, and now have a 3-point lead as we are in crunch time. But Bianca Jackson can pull FBC to within 1 here at the line. Jackson misses the front end. The box out by Hunt. She tries to get it to Massaguer, tipped around, but Ballaghan comes up with it.
Oh, they got numbers if they can advance the ball. They did. Decided not to score. They're going to hold it up here in one possession.
Like that decision there. FBC can cover a lot of ground. Hunt felt kind of iffy about the opportunity to get that quick layup, so kicked it back out, and they continue to run pressure seconds off the clock. Hunt to Hunt. Shot's no good. Rebounded on the inside, and here comes Michaela Coons. 3-point game. Tough pass and catch. They get it.
Gotta hit that.
Wow, missed layups on both ends. Huge as we're underneath 5 seconds now. Massaguer will have a chance to ice it.
Ooh, tough shot for Banks. He has to hit that layup right there.
So it's always easy to play armchair or whatever when the players are on the court having to make the decisions in game time. But, you know, I thought FBC would try to go for a good look at 3. You know, not everybody wasn't back for Tennessee Xtreme, so I figured FBC would kind of catch a Coons or a Moore in transition. That was a tough catch, for number 25 for FBC Mo, for Banks to even come up with, then having to come back down and finish. 5-point game. And that'll do it. So Tennessee Xtreme Hunt with a nice victory here at the PSB Spring Showdown. Marcus Burnett joined by Sylvester Williams and Brandon Clay. Brandon, any closing thoughts?
That was fun. I mean, it's late March, fellas. To get that type of game with those types of players, what more do you want? When you draw it up, like I say all the time, when I draw these matchups up in the lab, I draw it up for exactly what we got, and I'll take that, man. I'm cool with it.
So will Tennessee Xtreme Hunt. Appreciate you joining us here on SUV TV for the Peach State Basketball Spring Showdown. Don't go anywhere. 2 more championship games coming up next.